AITA for kicking my 72-year-old Mill out of the house at night. Because she threw away my things? I, 36F, live with my husband, 41M. I have a decent relationship with my Mill, compared to a lot of the horror stories I hear from friends. She's quite sweet and warm. She is, however, a little over-controlling, overprotective. I'm not sure of the exact word, but she has very strong ideas about things and no sense of boundaries. For example, when she stays at our house, she takes over the kitchen completely and insists on cooking all our meals. She cooks wonderfully, but she won't let me help her at all, and puts everything away in the wrong places and then insists that her way is more logical. She only really comes for holidays, though, and I do like her a lot, so I don't mind putting up with these mild annoyances. I'm currently pregnant with our little girl, who will be born in a few months. This is a miracle. I really didn't think it would happen, especially so late, but we got lucky. When my Mill heard, she was super excited and said she would come over to help us get ready for the baby. She offered to stay for the next 6 months or so to help out, because my husband and I both work long hours and it will be hard to handle the baby on top of this. She is also pretty emotionally invested in this, because she truly sees herself as part of our family. She arrived a few days ago and set herself up. Then she started with the cleaning. I like collecting things from garage sales and such. Things like little sculptures and books and baskets. Stuff a lot of people would consider utter junk. Our house is definitely overstuffed, but it's reasonably tidy and doesn't seem like a hoarder's house or anything. My Mill, on the other hand, likes everything surgically clean. Yesterday I came home from work to find the house like a war zone. She went through my cabinets and cleared out everything she considered junk, and had apparently made several trips to Goodwill before I got home. I was really angry and I asked her why she would ever do this. She said the house has to be tidy for the baby, and that it would be dangerous for the baby to be in my cluttered house. Then she took the next huge bag of stuff and tried to walk out the door. I kind of lost it, and I told her she could get out right now. She was shocked that I was serious, and she said she doesn't have anywhere to go and it's so late. It was about 9:30. I booked her a hotel room and called a taxi. My husband came home an hour later, and when I told him what happened, he was furious with me. He says I disrespected his mom and was ungrateful for everything she's trying to do for us. AITA? NTA. WTF Grimace, you have a husband problem and you probably need to ask him if he gave her the green flag to tidy up. My mom is sorta the same way, though her house can be however she likes it, and threw out some stuff I wasn't ready to get rid of. Well, that's a boundary she won't cross again. You need to talk to your husband and then Mill, but I suspect the husband has some explaining to do. 'Cause this is wild. He says I disrespected his mom and was ungrateful for everything she's trying to do for us. And throwing your stuff away wasn't disrespectful? She's not helping if she's creating stress. That's really the opposite of helpful. NTA. NTA. What your Mill did crossed every line for a guest in anyone's home. And, in fact, you could make a very good case for theft of your belongings. If your Mill truly wanted to help you, she would have asked before she touched a single thing and would have accepted it if you told her no for any action she wanted to do. Instead, she did everything while you were away, when she knew you could not object or tell her no. You also have a husband problem. He made a vow to forsake all others until death do you part, and it looks like he is not doing that now. It looks like he is choosing his mother over you. He should have been enforcing the sanctity of the two of your home against her overbearing ways all along. And you need to get this worked out now before the baby comes. Or your Mill is going to be running your home, not you. NTA. But as ever, you don't really have a mill problem as a partner problem. If someone comes in and disrespects your home and literally throws your stuff away, he should have your back. I think you were wildly optimistic with her staying to help when you already know she's over controlling and takes over in your own home. Mark my words, draw those boundaries before the baby arrives, as I'm sure she'll have strong opinions on what to do there. NTA. Your husband needs to learn that his mom can't steal your property and throw them away. How would your husband feel if you packed up his stuff and gave it all to charity? NTA. WTF? Seriously, WTF? Who thinks it's in any way acceptable to throw out someone else's stuff like that? NTA. But who in their right mind invites their mom, Mill, to stay at their house 6 months before the baby is due? That's insane. Sorry. And with what she previously did, her taking over was to be expected, not her throwing stuff away. That's also insane. NTA. As much as I appreciate an uncluttered home, you don't throw away someone else's belongings. Send husband to hotel along with his mother for the lack of support. NTA. Don't let your Mill stay for 6 months. She's supposed to be here to help out and lower stress for the expecting mother, not throw her shit out and micromanage. She is doing the opposite of helping. You got her a hotel room and a taxi. Now it's time to tell your husband she ain't staying and get him to back you up on this. The convo with his mother. Show him this post. Tell him you will make a list of boundaries that she will not be allowed to cross if he wants to have her visit again, especially with the baby. Make sure your husband agrees, because if he doesn't, then there's gonna be big problems. Let her know the boundaries, and if she crosses them, she will be asked to leave. NTA. But your Mill wants to be a mom raising a baby again. Your baby. If you allow her to stay, you will change the relationship with your child forever. She will never allow you to bond with your child, cook a meal, whatever. She is taking over your house, and she will take over raising your baby. This isn't going to work. Throwing her out at 9:30 at night was not the best way to handle this. But her tearing your house apart as if she is in charge and it's her house is just as wrong. Just because you like or tolerate your Mill in small doses doesn't mean it is healthy for you in large doses or permanently. She isn't coming for 6 months. She too, du 6 months, because by that time she will be embedded in your house and won't leave. You and your husband need to have a talk about all of this. You and your husband and the little human you are growing. Your life will change with this baby. You are growing the little human for 40 weeks. You will have a bond with your baby. You won't want to leave your baby. You won't want to consistently work long hours because you will miss your baby and want to get home quick to be with your baby. There are no words to adequately describe what you will feel physically, emotionally, and mentally once your baby is born. My husband and I had high-tech, high-energy careers. I traveled a lot for my job. Totally type A, take no prisoners in my career. When I had our son, everything changed. I hated traveling all the time. I preferred to be home. I went from being in the office or on the road to working from home 3 days a week and having my Sil babysit the other 2 days. She would babysit more often when I had to travel. When our son got to be 3 and we wanted him in preschool, I changed positions to eliminate the travel to twice a year because my husband couldn't control his travel. But I could by changing positions, which involved a pay cut, but tolerable because it was important to put the needs of our child first. You cannot be an effective parent to your child and develop a bond with your child if you have a Mill that wants to take over your house. It's not going to work. She will make you feel incompetent. She already does. She will take over everything, including your baby. I suspect that is not what you want. She can't help herself. It's who she is. She doesn't allow you in your own kitchen when she visits. Do you really think she will allow you around your own baby? If you want her raising your child, that's fine. That is what happens in some cultures. The parents work and the grandparents raise the children. So as you don't get to raise your own child, but you will raise your grandchildren. Unless the now adult child moves out. If you want to raise your own child your way, your mill cannot live with you. You need to figure out an alternative for childcare. NTA. Your mill and your husband are though. She is for what she did. You don't go through other people's stuff and throw out their belongings. Your husband is an AH for siding with his mother. You should have thrown him out as well. NTA. You have a husband problem though, since he didn't back you up when you kicked a robber out of your home. And I've never heard of anyone treating a thief as kindly as to rent them a hotel room and a taxi. Before, so how much more nicely did the hubs expect you to treat his criminal mother? NTA. And congrats. You do have a horror story with your mill just like everyone else on this sub. Your husband is a bigger problem here, though. He's got to back you up and be willing to set boundaries with his mother. This is a hill you should be willing for your relationship to die on. Because once the baby is born, it's going to only get worse. Congrats on the kid. Up. NTA. She disrespected you. Your husband sticking up for her is wrong on many levels. If he thought you were hoarding, he should have said something. NTA. She may think your house has too much clutter. And it possibly may. But she has no right to get rid of anything without yours and your partner's say. NTA. Your mill is a horror show. You didn't disrespect her at all. She disrespected you. This may not work out well because your husband is a fool who is invested in the abusive mill. NTA. Your mill is not the lovely person you portrayed in the beginning of your post. Good people don't take over other people's homes. Forget her. Deal with that wuss you married. If he doesn't back you up, start lining up your ducks. Clutter disgusts me and I just couldn't live in it. Especially with baby stuff piled on top. But there's no way I'd ever clean out someone's house without permission. NTA. NTA. It's not her house and she sounds very inconsiderate at the least.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.